If Twitter is taken out of the Apple Store, Elon Musk has revealed a groundbreaking plan he would employ. Musk has pledged to create a brand new phone and said he will create a device that is ideally suited to the requirements of the platform if Twitter is removed from the Apple Store. The name and features of the phone are absurd. But there's more. After Apple tried to remove Twitter from the App Store, tensions between Musk and Apple have risen to a breaking point. The war, in Musk's opinion, cannot be avoided. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, has come under fire from Musk in a number of tweets and memes. Even stranger is the revelation of the reason why Elon Musk and Tim Cook's meeting took place, and despite Musk's disclosure of how they met and resolved their differences, it appears that this process is far from over. The Apple App Store isn't the best place for apps that aim to shock and insult users, according to a list of safety requirements that Apple has also made public. But why do Elon Musk and Twitter care about this Apple announcement? This is a very intriguing situation, to be sure. Let's explain it then. Elon Musk recently went on a tirade against Apple, the company that places the majority of its advertisings on Twitter, claiming that it has threatened to delist the social media platform from its App Store without cause. The outburst brought to light the significant influence Apple, the most valuable company in the world, has over Twitter's future. Companies whose apps contained violent content or violated Apple's security policies have already had their access to the Apple Store revoked. If Twitter is taken down from the Apple Store, both new users and users who already have the app installed on their iPhones and iPads won't be able to receive updates. The alleged threat increased the commercial pressure, employee layoffs, and regulatory scrutiny that Musk is already dealing with as he works to change Twitter's decades-old flawed policy and banned accounts in an effort to support free speech. Apple was the largest advertiser on Twitter in the first quarter, spending $48 million on the social media network, according to a document created from internal Twitter statistics. In that quarter, Apple's expenses totaled more than 4% of Twitter's revenue. In a number of tweets, Musk made an effort to exert pressure on the business and CEO Tim Cook for stopping spending during the holiday shopping season. In a tweet, Musk questioned whether Apple detested free speech. The goal of Musk's tweets was to rekindle political skepticism and long-standing concerns about Apple's market dominance. He tweeted a link to a 2020 parody film produced by Epic Games, an Apple rival, criticizing the Apple Store as a monopoly. The movie is a parody of Apple's famous 1984 Super Bowl commercial, which was made by Epic, the company behind the video game Fortnite, after it was taken down from the Apple Store for violating the company's rules on in-app purchases. Additionally, he tweeted a yes-no question to his more than 19 million followers asking if Apple ought to disclose all forms of user censorship. Any court order may levy a fine against Apple's App Store, but it stops short of calling the maker of the iPhone a monopolist and branding it as such. Apple imposes a 30% tax on all purchases made through Musk's App Store, according to Musk. In a meme, Musk hinted that he intended to fight Apple. Like other businesses, Twitter has informed investors in regulatory filings that the completion of an App Store compliance review is a requirement for the viability of its services. Apple's official App Store review guidelines includes a number of safety requirements that apps must follow in order to be listed in the store, including the ability to block content that is inflammatory, hurtful, or just plain creepy like hate speech. For instance, 3 months after updating the content moderation procedures, Parler was re-added to the Apple App Store. So, will Twitter adhere to Apple's requirements perfectly, or is Twitter in danger going forward? The rules state that if you wanted to shock and offend people, the Apple App Store isn't the best place for your app. As the economy has weakened, many companies have cut back on their investments in digital marketing, and Twitter has probably never made a significant portion of Apple's advertising budget. On the other hand, if Musk is successful in shifting the company's primary business to be more dependent on the subscription income and needs to give Apple a 30% cut, Apple's influence on Twitter could be significantly greater. Musk has previously said that he will develop a phone that works with the platform if Twitter is removed from the Apple Store. Both proponents and critics of the idea have coined the term Tesla phone, which quickly became popular on Twitter. The meeting with Apple was made public after Musk was informed that he needed to do a lot of work to get Twitter in compliance with the new EU laws on disinformation or face a potential ban. Thierry Breton, an EU commissioner, said that the social networking site will have to deal with issues like content moderation, disinformation, and targeted advertisements during a conversation with Musk. The EU earlier this year approved the Digital Service Act, which is widely regarded as the most significant revision of the law governing online activities in decades, imposing new rules on businesses to stop misuse of their platforms. By the end of the following year, major corporations are expected to abide by the regulations. If a company is found to be in violation, it may be subject to fines of up to 6% of its global revenue, or, in the case of repeated serious violations, a ban. Despite a growing rift between Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, and the tech giant Apple, the company still spends over $100 million annually on Twitter advertisements. The largest technology company in the world and Twitter's biggest source of income is Apple. It spends more than $100 million on advertising annually and has a whole team devoted to its partnership with Twitter. With $48 million in advertising spent in the first quarter, Apple was Twitter's biggest advertiser. According to the reports, more than 4% of Twitter's revenue for that quarter came from Apple's investment in the platform. Apple now spends a lot more money each day on Twitter advertising, claims the research firm Media Matters for America. Not changed since Elon Musk assumed leadership. The nonprofit organization's statistics show a significant decline between November 8th and November 21st of 2022, but never a complete stop. Apple has never spent less than it did on his first day, with the exception of one. Apple spent $31,941.76 on the first day, October 28, 2022, according to MMA data. According to reports, Apple spent $84,615.70, or 2.6 times as much, on November 28, 2022, the final day of the report.